Good afternoon, Charles and Mecca here. Just a quick conversation. I want to quickly talk about relationships with fathers and sons. Someone might say, why am I not talking about relationship with fathers and their children in general? One of the reasons is I've been a son all my life and I've been a father for a good number of years. I've never been a mother and I've never been a daughter. So just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to speak about the relationship. I'm not even going to speak about, I'm really just going to throw out some ideas and leave it open for everyone to find their own truth. One of the things I've embraced over the last year or two is that some things are not black, some things are not white, some things are just gray. No one has the monopoly on wisdom and nobody has the monopoly on truth. So it's for everyone to find out what their truth is and find out what works for them. So, how much does a father actually owe their child? And how much in turn does a son owe his father? One of the things that has triggered this thought process and this conversation is the unfortunate public conversation, discourse, disharmony, disunity that is being talked about right now as Chris Eubank Jr. goes into a fight with Conor Benn. For those that don't know, Chris Eubank Jr. is the son of Chris Eubank Sr. and Conor Benn is the son of Nigel Benn. So 20, 30 years ago, Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. fought each other. Their sons are now fighting each other. From what we can see, Conor Benn and Nigel Benn have a beautiful, united relationship. And Chris Eubank Sr. and Chris Eubank Jr. at this point in time seem to have a disenfranchised relationship. And from what we can hear and see, it comes from Chris Eubank Jr. wanting to be his own man and stepping out, in his words, from his father's shadow. And maybe from where Chris Eubank Sr. is standing, after his own career, he gave everything to his son's career, and he gave his son everything and invested so much in his son, and probably was living vicariously through his son. And then at some point, the son then says, you've had your life, you've had your career, I now want to have mine. And I want to do things my way. I want to step out from the shadow of being your son. I think we saw something similar with the likes of Lewis Hamilton and his father. I've also seen this play out in a different form with the relationship or relationships, without getting too intimate, in my own family. I am somebody that is happy and fulfilled in continuing my father's legacy and my father's name, and continuing from where my father stopped and keep moving things forward. Not every son wants to go down the same path of their father. Not every son wants to stop from where their father stopped and continued. Some sons feel, I want to live my own life, I want to do things my own way, I don't owe you anything as a father. I also recently saw a clip where Sidney Poitier was acting in a film, and he was a son in that relationship, and he was telling his father, you wouldn't understand or be able to relate to half of my life experiences. I'm going to live on my terms. I never asked to be born into this world. You had me. So everything you've done for me as a father, you were supposed to do for me as a father. But as a son, I don't owe you anything. It will be interesting to hear the thoughts of both males and females. what do we owe our children? Um, Me just chipping in, I think no matter how much you give to your son or you give to your children, you should also keep a piece back of what you do for yourself. Because if you give your children everything without you having a level of fulfillment or having plans and visions and goals for yourself, one day you might wake up and feel empty because your child no longer wants you to be so instrumental in their life. So, in summary, my view is give as much as you can to your children, give as much as you can to your sons, but also make sure you're feeding your own needs, wants, vision. It's not every child that comes back and says thank you to their parents. It's not every child that comes back and wants to make sure their parents are okay and looks after their parents. And that could then lead to resentment further on down the line. So, how much should you give to your children? What should you keep for yourself or do for yourself while you're serving your children? And as children, how much do we owe our parents? I'm going to leave it there. Remember, it's not black, it's not white, it's just grey. What is your truth? What are your thoughts? I don't know if I have the answers. I'm still wrestling with the answers and will figure out my own truth in the process. How much does a father owe his sons or his children? And how much do children owe their parents? It'll be interesting to hear the thoughts of others. God bless.